Habermas' Theory and Practice explores the relationship between theoretical reflection and political practice, delving into how philosophy interacts with real-world social change. The book is rooted in the intellectual tradition of critical theory, particularly influenced by the Frankfurt School, and seeks to offer insights into how philosophical ideas can inform and shape political actions in modern societies. Through this work, Habermas attempts to navigate the tension between abstract theorizing and the practical demands of political and social life. At the core of Theory and Practice is Habermas' critique of the separation between theory and practice, a dichotomy that he believes has been exaggerated in modern thought. Historically, philosophy has often been seen as an abstract discipline, detached from the everyday concerns of politics and society. However, Habermas argues that philosophy has a role to play in shaping political practice, and that theoretical reflection should guide the formation of a just and rational social order. One of the main themes of the book is the concept of rationality. Habermas explores different types of rationality, distinguishing between instrumental and communicative rationality. Instrumental rationality is concerned with efficiency and the achievement of specific goals, often associated with science and technology. In contrast, communicative rationality involves reaching mutual understanding through dialogue and consensus. For Habermas, the latter is essential for democratic decision-making and social cooperation. He argues that modern societies have become overly reliant on instrumental rationality, neglecting the importance of communicative rationality in shaping human relationships and political life. In this context, Habermas critiques the technocratic approach to politics, where decisions are made by experts and technocrats based on instrumental rationality without genuine public participation. He sees this as a form of depoliticization, where citizens are excluded from meaningful decision-making processes. In Habermas's view, true democracy requires active participation from citizens in deliberative processes, where rational communication and debate guide collective decision-making. He advocates for a model of politics that is based on communicative action, where individuals engage in open and rational discourse to reach agreements on issues of common concern. Habermas also examines the role of ideology in shaping political practice. Drawing on Marxist theory, he argues that ideology can distort people's understanding of their social conditions, leading them to accept forms of domination and inequality as natural or inevitable. However, unlike traditional Marxism, which use ideology as primarily a tool of economic exploitation, Habermas focuses on how ideology influences communication and public discourse. He believes that ideology can limit the scope of rational debate by constraining what can be said and thought within a given society. One of the key aspects of Habermas' argument is the importance of critique in challenging ideologies and uncovering the hidden power structures that shape social life. For Habermas, critical theory should not only analyze the structures of power and domination, but also offer a path toward emancipation by promoting rational communication and public debate. Through this process, individuals can come to a clearer understanding of their social conditions and work collectively to create a more just society. The relationship between theory and practice also involves the question of how philosophical ideas can be translated into political action. Habermas addresses the challenge of applying abstract theories to the concrete realities of social and political life. He argues that theory must be flexible and responsive to the changing conditions of society, rather than rigid and dogmatic. In this sense, theory should serve as a guide for practice, offering principles and frameworks for action, but it should not dictate specific solutions in a top-down manner. Habermas critiques both traditional Marxism and positivism for their failure to adequately bridge the gap between theory and practice. Traditional Marxism, he argues, tends to reduce all social phenomena to economic factors, neglecting the importance of communication and cultural factors in shaping social life. Meanwhile, positivism, with its emphasis on empirical observation and scientific methodology, treats social problems as technical issues that can be solved through instrumental rationality, rather than as matters requiring ethical and political deliberation. In contrast, Habermas advocates for a form of critical theory that recognizes the importance of both economic and cultural factors in shaping society. He emphasizes the need for a theory that is self-reflective and capable of questioning its own assumptions, as well as one that engages with the lived experiences of individuals in order to remain relevant to social struggles. For Habermas, theory should be rooted in the practice of dialogue and open communication, where different perspectives can be brought together to achieve mutual understanding and common goals. The concept of praxis, or the integration of theory and practice, is central to Habermas's vision of political life. Praxis, for Habermas, involves not just the application of theory to practice, but also a continuous process of reflection and revision. It is through praxis that individuals can challenge existing power structures and work toward the realization of a more democratic and just society. In this sense, praxis is not merely about achieving specific political objectives, but about fostering a form of life that is oriented toward communication, mutual understanding, and collective self-determination. Habermas also addresses the tension between individual autonomy and collective action in democratic societies. He recognizes that individuals must be free to pursue their own goals and interests, but he argues that true freedom can only be realized through participation in collective decision-making processes. Democracy, in Habermas' view, is not just a system of government, but a way of life that involves the active participation of citizens in shaping the conditions of their own existence. This requires a commitment to rational communication and a willingness to engage in dialogue with others, even when there are deep disagreements. In the final sections of the book, Habermas discusses the implications of his theory for contemporary politics. He critiques the technocratic tendencies of modern states, where political decisions are often made by experts without meaningful input from the public. He argues that this technocratic approach undermines democracy by reducing political participation to a passive role. In response, Habermas calls for a revitalization of the public sphere, where citizens can engage in rational debate and hold political leaders accountable. Habermas also emphasizes the importance of education and public discourse, in fostering a democratic culture. He argues that citizens must be equipped with the tools to engage in critical thinking and rational communication, and that the public sphere must be protected from the influence of powerful interest groups that seek to manipulate public opinion. In this sense, Habermas sees the public sphere as a crucial site of struggle for the realization of democratic ideals.